A woman named Layla. She was a dedicated teacher, a loving mother of two, and the pride of her family. Her life was peaceful and full of meaning. She would wake up every morning to the joyful laughter of her children and the warm support of her family, who lived just down the street. Teaching was not just her profession, it was her passion. Her students adored her, and her salary was good enough to provide a comfortable life. But life, as it often does, took an unexpected turn. War and instability slowly crept into her homeland. Streets once filled with laughter became silent and fearful. Schools closed and opportunities vanished. Layla, like many others, was faced with a painful decision: stay and risk her children's future, leave everything behind for the unknown. With a heavy heart, she gathered a few belongings, held her children close, and left her beloved homeland behind. After months of uncertainty, she arrived in the United States of America, a land she had only heard of in movies and textbooks. But life in America wasn't what she expected. Back home, she was a respected teacher, a woman with dignity and value. Here, she was simply a stranger with 2 children, a foreign accent, and no job. The streets were cold, the faces unfamiliar, and everything from the signs on the road to the conversations in the grocery store was in a language she didn't fully understand. Her family was no longer by her side. The loneliness was deep. But Layla was strong. She knew that if she wanted to survive and, more importantly, if she wanted her children to thrive, she had to start over. She enrolled in free English classes offered at a local community center. Every evening, after putting her children to bed, she would sit under the dim kitchen light with her books and practice, saying words like hello, interview, and thank you. Money became tight. Her savings were running out, and she had no time to waste. One day, while passing by a McDonald's, she noticed a now hiring sign. Her heart sank. She had never worked in a fast food restaurant before. Back home, she had stood in front of blackboards, correcting essays and explaining science. Now, she was considering frying potatoes and wiping tables. But she had no choice. She filled out the application with trembling hands. And a week later, she got the job. Her first day at McDonald's was overwhelming. The orders came fast, the pace was intense, and the machines beeped endlessly. Customers were impatient, and her English was still broken. But Layla smiled through the exhaustion. She worked 8 hours a day, standing on her feet, rushing between the kitchen and the counter. Every night, her feet ached, her back throbbed, and her eyes filled with tears, not just from pain, but from the memories of who she used to be. Still, she never gave up. In her free time, she continued attending English classes. Sometimes she brought her textbooks to work, reading them during breaks while sipping cold coffee. Her coworkers slowly noticed her determination and started helping her improve her speaking skills. One young girl named Jessica, who worked at the register, would practice pronunciation with Layla during lunch breaks. Say lettuce, not lettuce. She'd smile. Layla would laugh, repeating, lettuce, lettuce, lettuce. After 6 months, something amazing happened. Layla's English improved. She could now understand her customers, speak confidently to her manager, and even help train new employees. Her children, now adapting well in school, were proud of their mom. "Mama, you speak English like my teacher," her daughter would say. But Layla didn't stop there. She began applying to online courses to become a certified teacher in the US again. It was difficult balancing work, studying, parenting, but she had done hard things before. She was no longer afraid. 3 years after she started working at McDonald's, Layla stood in front of a classroom again, not in her hometown, but in a public school in America. The students were different. The language was different, but the joy in her heart was the same. And this time, her journey inspired others. She told her students stories of courage, of how education and hard work could change lives. Parents in the school respected her. Her coworkers admired her. From a respected teacher, to a struggling mother in a foreign land, to a fast food worker, and back to an educator, Layla had come full circle. She no longer cried alone at night. She no longer feared the future. She had created a new life, not just for herself, but for her children. And in doing so, she taught the most important lesson of all: never give up, because Even when everything seems lost, hope is stronger than fear.